All right. Come on. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Today is December 14th, 2024 at 8:25 in the morning, and we are back in. Things look like they're working pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this into the scripts folder. Jump into player. Here's my inverter for the player. Very cool. Drop this in here. Go in. I do need to do something with the. I'll just trigger inversion. It'll be a public function. And it'll just be a public void trigger inversion. Like that, and it'll be the same stuff. Can I call on invert? Oh, hi, Chin. Ugh, excuse me. Today, we're gonna do some level building. Just gonna close out all these because I'll have to open them up later. So that means new scenes and new stuff. Scenes. Create. We're gonna do camera stuff. So we're gonna start on our first scene. That means we get to draw. Damn, sorry. I got that morning congestion. Let's see. Gloom GDD. So our GDD, we're working on the first level. First level. Try to find it. Here we go. Haunted Woods. Okay, so I have 6 levels, so to speak. The Haunted Woods is gonna be the first level. So that's what we're working on right now. Alright, so new scene, create a new scene. Forest. Alright. Same, very empty. Okay, so 2D object. Let's just start off with something simple. I wish I could. I'm gonna make it kind of big. Excuse me, sorry, man. Let's add the player in here. He's right there. Okay, so we're gonna make a empty. It's gonna be called environment. Drop the floor in there. Main camera is gonna be tied to the player. Alright, let's make a really quick camera script. Make, oh shit, hang on. Mm-hmm. Okay. Even in 2D? Okay, let's do it. Okay, so ChatGPT is recommending Cinemachine, so that's probably what we'll use. I know that we could use Cinemachine for 3D stuff, which is way better. Cinemachine for 3D is way, way better. Let's see, Package Manager, Unity Registry, Cine. There's Cinemachine. Install that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's Cinemachine. So create 2D object, pixel perfect camera. This wasn't in here before. So here's my virtual camera. It will follow. Crap. Please follow this and look at this. Let's try this. Oh shit. Sorry. Collider, 2D collider. I'm seeing some like weird jitter. Okay. Virtual camera needs to back out. What was it before? Oh. Okay. Okay. So I've got my camera. Okay, so now I need to... I'm gonna add some stuff in, some like props. So let's go ahead and get into GIMP and make some props. Oh man. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up one of those old folder files. The background ones, the template scenes. Because I can kind of work off of these. So here's the ground, here's the background. So like kind of this stuff is kind of what I'm going for. See this stuff right here? Okay, so let's go ahead and just make a bunch of trees. We're just gonna pull off the internet for now. Tree silhouette. Alright. Because this is how images. Ooh. Okay. Scale this way down. Bring it over here. Okay, so there's a tree. Okay, so now with this, I'm gonna change this background color. I'm just gonna erase it. I just need a bunch of tree props. This is what I'm making. Erase. Okay, then just delete the background then. And then let's scale this up. Press OK. And then let's fit to image, crop to content. Okay, and then we're going to select by color on the black. And then we're going to select invert and erase all this junk. Nope, not enough. Okay, so selection grow by 1. Sorry. Nope, nope, nope. Select by color white. Okay, selection grow by 1 pixel. Selection invert and then paint it black. Select none. Select by color white. Erase. Select grow. Grow by 1. Erase. Select grow again by 1. Select none. Let's put a background on it. Let's put like red or something, like it's really visible. Selection none. Huh. Layer to contents. Layer to fit canvas to layer. No. Image. Damn it, man. See, because this one is like too small. Edit. Layer boundary, layer to image size. There you go. Okay, so now we have those other colors. So let's go ahead and grab these. Okay, let's go ahead and erase those as well. Select none. See, there's still some colors left that I need to get rid of. Oh, I know what to do. Select by color for black. Select invert, and then erase. That'll get it. That'll sharpen it all up. Select none. There you go. a tree. Right. Let me see if I can like modify this layer, like filter it. Let's do that again. Edge detect, edge, and then let's give it a little bit more. Portrait behavior, loop, black. That is a cool, like, that does make it look cool, kinda. Like none. Ah, okay. There's got to be a way. I just want to make it a little bit fatter. Blur. I mean, it's already pixels. You know what it is? I can do it like this. I can grab it and then grow it by 1. By 1. Wrong direction. Select invert. Select grow by 1. And then I can make this black in the spots that I want it to be black. Select none. There we go. I like that. Alright, cool. So now I do the select color. We go white. And then we paint this white. And select none. And then we turn this off. And then we export this file. Export as. Let's go to my desktop. Unity, projects. Project Mist. Mist drawings. We're going to call this tree prop 1. No compression. No, compression's fine. Okay. Let's go into that same folder, desktop. Unity, projects, Mist, project Mist drawings. We'll call this tree props because this will contain all the tree props. This will be the file that has all the tree props. But now I should have inside of my environment. Oh, hang on. Desktop, Unity, assets. No. Projects. Mist. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff in here. Whiteout. Okay. Let's grab all of these and take them out of here. I'll put them here. And then I'll come back into this. There's tree props, template scenes. There's a bunch of GIMP files. So that's more like what I want. Tree props, okay, cool. Okay, so now here, okay, so I've got those already, so I can take all of these and delete them. Whiteout. I've got all those, but I don't have this, so I'm going to delete these, drop this here, go back to this whiteout, drop that out. Now look at this prop, put this in the scene. Beautiful, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so tree prop, things need to change about it. We're going to change it to point. Save it. Okay, so now we're going to stick a color inverter on this thing. Color 1 is black. Color 2 is white. I'm gonna actually bring this up a little bit to make it gray, since it's in the background. And then this one will be a little bit gray. Okay. Another thing. Sorry. This needs that inverter on it as well. Color inverter. Color 1 is totally black. Color 2 is totally white. Let's go ahead and try this. Ah, I know it's wrong. Sorry. I have to jump up this and jump this up. And then this tree prop 1 also needs the same treatment. Like that. And that. I don't know why the alpha is not A to begin with. Okay. So this player isn't getting his... Oh, he doesn't have the inversion script. That's why. So let's go back to my other scene and save that. Okay, so let's get the player, inverter, add a component, apply to prefab. Let's look at all his overrides and apply those too. Apply all. There you go. Sorry. Now it should be applicable to this guy. There we go. Okay, so now that's working. Strangely enough, I'm still seeing the jitter on my mans. Let's go ahead and try to change this ground 1 and see if that fixes it. Okay. Alright. Don't know what that is about. Okay, so let's go back to ChatGPT. We're gonna ask it to add some like momentum to the camera. Let's see, where is this? Momentum to the camera. This is something I did in Velocity Rush. Could have sworn there was a way to do this in Momentum or in this stuff. Hang on. Let's go ahead and copy this prop. And then we're gonna flip it on itself. Okay, wrong way. Okay, somehow still the wrong way. No, I see. There you go. And then we're going to bring it in front of the player. So the player sits, his sprites, they sit on order and layer number 8. My god. Okay. Player. Background 01. Oh shit, hang on. Let's say the ground layer. Ground. Background 01. I'll add 3 backgrounds. Background 02. Background 03. And then I'll add a foreground. Foreground. There you go. All of these sprites are on the player layer. Let's apply this. Overrides. Apply all. The floor is on the ground layer. The tree props. This one is in background 1. This is in the foreground. There you go. That should help with that. This also needs to go color black and white. This will create some visual differences. Okay. So not exactly right. This is still in 0, this is still in 0, this is still in 0. Put this into 0. Now, there are 3 levels of background. Hang on. Additional settings. What does the sorting layer do? Hang on. I'm using Cinema Machine. Cinema Machine. How do you spell Cinema Machine? God damn it. Okay, adjust settings, dampening. In Cinema Machine's virtual camera component, virtual camera. Here it is. Under body section, choose framing transposer or another follow method. Adjust the dampening settings. X, Y controls the horizontal smoothness and the vertical smoothness. This creates a smooth lagging effect, but doesn't include velocity-based momentum. Okay, so my X dampening, I want to raise it up. And this I want to really raise up. Okay, let's try this. Okay, let's actually, like, go crazy with it to see what it does. Body. Okay, the look ahead smoothing is really nice. I like the look ahead smoothing. I think that's cool. The dampening in the X direction is nice as well. I don't know what this means. Oh, shit. Don't exactly know what this does. This one. I don't think this does much. Okay, let's try with the controller. Okay, let's also turn this off. I still see my voice jittering. So let's look at his player sprite. His what do you call it? His rigid body should be giving me some sort of information as to why this is happening. Here's my velocity. It's consistent, but why the jitter? Is it because of the box collider here is not continuous? Hang on. My interaction with this thing should not be causing this. Oh, yes, right, of course. So this needs to, order layer needs to be bumped up by 3 on here. So there's 0, 1, 2, the very base layer stacked on top of the background 1, stacked on this, and then stacked on the ground. So player should be like 8. No. Hang on, I need to think of like what the layers are. Okay, so damn, did I really make a complicated system? This will be 0. This is more like 3. 0, 1, 2. No, this is more like 2. This is 3. Player is 4. Player. Modify component apply. Okay, I need to kind of figure out what the sorting group is. Here, this is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. And then this is the foreground. This is like 5. And then put the player on. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's put these in here. Take the player out. Make the environment, give the environment a sorting group. 3 empty. It'll be, that's not what I wanted to do. Add an empty here. We're gonna call it background 0, 0. That's probably what I should do. So count it on a stack. Go away. And then I'll just use this as a template. Create empty background 0, 1. One more of these. Rename to background 0, 2. So this is the order. And then here I'll do create empty ground layer. And then create empty props on top of the ground, in front of the ground, or behind the ground. Oh god, that hurt. Cinemachine. Cinemachine is a camera brain inside of Unity. I can use Cinemachine to make all of my camera controls much easier instead of having to code it all myself. It's kind of like a built-in camera. Like camera control with settings and a bunch of stuff that's helpful instead of me having to make a bunch of stuff. Ground, props and ground. The relationship between props and ground is going to be kind of hard. And then I'll make one more empty layer, create empty, and it'll be called foreground. Okay, now I need to put sorting layers on all of these. Sorting group on all of these. The floor is an object. It goes into ground. My tree prop 1 is a background 2 item, and my foreground, this is a foreground item. So now, actually, before I do any of this, I want to make this a prefab. Okay, so environment, let's go to environment, environment prefab. There we go. Now we can do this. Tree prop goes in here. I think this is the one. No. This is my background 2 tree prop. This is my foreground tree prop, and this is my ground. So now, actually, fuck. Hang on, I gotta take all this stuff out again. Take this. The order in layer is 0, and it belongs to. Let's edit these. So these right here I need to delete or rename. I can rename them. So this is 0. This is background 0. This is background 1, and this is background 2. Ground foreground player. Let's add a props layer. I guess I'll keep like my interactable stuff on the props layer. I don't know. I'll figure that out. Okay, so, and then, yeah, because that'll also include like things like foliage and stuff that I keep. It'll go where it belongs. Okay, fine. I'll put props in front of the ground because it technically goes on top of the ground. I don't really know that I'll have to figure out how I want to do that. So this is my 0, 0 layer. It goes 0. This is my 0, 1 background. This is 1. This is my 0, 2 background. It goes 2. This is my ground. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Props go on 4. And then foreground goes on 5. Foreground goes on 5. And then player goes between ground and props. So I actually need to bump this up. Props goes to 5. And foreground goes to 6. And then player, his stuff, goes to 4. Okay, now that should be working. Whoa, dude. What the hell? What was that? That's probably the look ahead. Gotta fix that. Okay, let's reset all this stuff to normal. I need to turn this off. 3, look ahead time. Let's do like 0.3 with a lot of smoothing. And then press play. That should help us out. Is it because everything is falling? Why would anything be falling? Hang on, let's look at the scene window while this happens. Yeah, everything's falling. How did that happen? Environment. These don't have anything crazy going on. These shouldn't have any Oh, somehow this got a... No, it doesn't have a rigid body. What? Tree prop 1. Tree prop 1 goes into the background 2. Floor goes into the ground, and tree prop 1 goes into the foreground. Something's going on. Close that. Close this. Try this again. Okay. That was weird. Well, you can see that these are still not quite where they need to be. Yeah, these are not where they need to be. So the sorting group doesn't really seem to have done very much for me, which is kind of a bummer. Let's take these out. And I'm gonna ask to see what it does exactly. Overrides, apply all. Let's ask, what does the sorting group component do in Unity? Sorting group component in Unity is primarily used in 2D projects to manage the rendering order of related objects. It works in conjunction with the sprite renderer component in Unity sorting layers to help provide... Oh crap. My god! Characters and animated objects, objects and nested groups, how to use sorting. Oh my god, it won't shut up. Shut up! Just let me read the beginning. Okay. Local sprite order. Within a group, child sprites respect their local sorting order, but stay constrained to the group's sorting setting. The group's sorting setting. Ensure that all sprites in the hierarchy render as a single entity. Useful for composite objects like characters made up of multiple sprites. Is that what I did for the player? No way. Sorting layer. Order and layer. Yeah, this is the sorting group. Got it. Okay, so then within this thing, I can put props and sort them how I want, but I still need to sort these. Okay. I think that makes sense. So if I make these all 0, they're all gonna go to where they belong. Okay, let's see if that works. So tree prop 1 goes into the background 02, floor goes into the ground, and then tree prop goes into the foreground, and then press play. No, it's not working. See, this tree is the perfect example. It should be in the background. Oh, it's in its own sorting group as well. I was hoping that I could use the sorting layer. I want to use empty game objects labeled as their respective layer, be background 0 through 3 and ground, so that when I put the prop object into that layer, it is sorted automatically in the scene properly. Rendering behind and in front correctly. Okay, let's try that. Oh my god. Legit, ChatGPT recommended me a YouTube video. This is what I've done. This is what I've done. I did this. This is exactly what I did. So see this? 2, 3. Do I need to sort at root for all of these? See, this is still in front. Man, why can't I get it to work? Maybe that's it. I need to just leave these as default. But it's not even like, oh my god, dude. It's not even moving things around. Like, I'm changing stuff, and it should be changing in the inspector. Give me this. -1. Okay. So this right here, right? This is my next tree prop. I should move this. Can I move it -1? Okay, whatever. You disconnected. Just good. Like, it's, look at it not even move. Can I move this to 0? 2? I don't understand what you want from me. Okay. Jesus. Okay. Is it because of my camera rendering? Something to do with this? Virtual camera. Like, literally none of the layering system is working. I don't get it. Okay, how about this? We're gonna get all these things out. Make copies of them, right? Crap. Also, my guy, him like jittering like this is also irritating me because that is not present in the other scene and I don't know why it's happening here. It makes no sense. See, all this stuff is in front of him. It shouldn't be in front. I need to figure this out. Why is it so difficult? I thought I set it up correctly. Okay, so how about this? Let's get the props out of here and just make a simple version of this. Take these off. Turn these off for now. Drop this. We don't really need to see this. Let's go ahead and lock it. But now I'm messing with these. Let's get in the scene. Well, I do want to see this. Sorry, I just don't want to interact with it. Okay, turn those off. So these are my props. I should be able to drop this behind the player somehow. The player's sprite order or sorting order in layer. I don't quite understand what that means. So if I bring this prop above 4, it should go in front of, or it should go, oh no, it should be behind the player now because it's on layer 0. There it goes. Good lord. Because if I choose... Hold on. So let's go into the sorting layer and organize this stuff. Default is on 0. Background 2 should be here. Background 1, is it because of this shit? Because it's like this. 0, 1, 2. 1, 2. Then it's the ground. And then, yeah, I figured it out. God damn it. And then props. Props are with the player. Okay, fine. And then I take this and I put it into prop 0, 0 or 0, 2, and it'll stay back there. Okay, and then I come into the environment. Let's go ahead and turn these off. Damn it, dude, that was it? That's so irritating. Okay, and then I turn these back on. Turn these back on. And now these should be organized correctly. Yeah, this sorting in layer thing isn't even important now because what it is it sorts the stuff in the foreground with the foreground. But ultimately this entire group is the foreground. This entire group is the props. I could like change these to 0 and it wouldn't even matter, I bet. It's just the fact that it's on that layer is what helps. So these props, can I put to default? And it won't go anywhere? Okay, good. Ground, I could put to default, it won't go anywhere. Tree prop, I could put to default and it won't go anywhere because it's in this group. Okay, that's what determines it for me. Hang on. I'm in the scene view, go to the game view, and now things are working properly. You can see that I'm walking behind trees. I'm walking in front of trees. Okay, God, Lord, man. So dumb. Alright. It's almost time for me to go to the gym, so I'll just stop having a panic attack now. This stuff should be organized properly. I can make all this stuff 0 now, so that doesn't matter. This stuff can be set to default on the sorting layer, and 0. And then I can press play. Okay, so that's not quite right. This stuff right here, props, foreground. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I moved up the tags. No, not the tags. I changed the sorting layer. There you go. So sorting layer 0, 1, 2, ground. I'm doing it again. 0, 1, 2. Default's under everything. That's fine. Then ground, props, player, foreground. Actually, player should be on the ground, but behind the props? In front of the props. Yeah, in front of the props. Alright, and then I can press play, and everything should be fine. Starting off. Yep, okay, great. Now, let's go ahead and just like test this. Let's make this a big old tree. And then let's go ahead and rotate it on its axis. And then let's get this tiny tree. Let's make some copies of it. And like scale it. I wish I could easily flip these things. Oh, I can. Okay, copy it. Okay, let's take this ground and scale it. I want to scale it down. I just want it to like fit the entire camera is what I really want from it. Let's just make sure we're like not killing the player. Okay, let's do that. And then when we invert, okay, cool. So this is kind of how I'm gonna build out my environments. I think that it's looking pretty good. These tree, and I can edit all the tree props all at the same time. I can make this a little bit darker. Not quite black. And so that'll help me sort things a little bit better. Okay, and then the floor. Yeah, that's good. So let's go ahead and play that. And I have to make the floor a little bit more detailed. But basically, like, this is what it'll look like. Or this is how I'll build out the levels and stuff. I'm going to add more stuff into the background. So let's go ahead and add some additional trees. But another thing that I need to do is the parallaxing, so that as I walk past things, certain objects move slower and certain objects move faster. So I need to kind of look up a video or kind of get an idea. The theory behind parallaxing is going to be interesting for me. So we're going to copy all of these into this background 1 layer, and then I'll move them all. We'll offset them. And let's zoom in here. Zoom in. Let's go ahead and rotate this. Rotate them all. Like that. Stretch them out a little bit. Grab them again, copy them, bring them over here, and then we will rotate again. Parallaxing is basically the idea that environments in the background will move at a slower pace than the so like background 2, like as you move past them, you kind of see a shift in perspective of the player. It means objects in the foreground move very slowly, and then objects further, or no, objects in the foreground move much faster than objects way in the back. It's like basically if you see mountains out in the distance, as you walk along a path, those mountains will not move at all, pretty much, right? From your perspective. But like trees, you're like flying past trees, right? So objects in the way back will be moving much slower than objects in the foreground. That's the idea of parallaxing. Okay, now I need to edit all these prompts. Take this. These will be much lighter than the objects in the background, or in the foreground. And much lighter on the inversion as well. Let's add one more final, like depth of field. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, pretty much. Let's add a square here. Backdrop. Let's have it just be light gray. Oh no, let's have it be white. Add inversion. Color inverter. We're gonna go with this white first, and then black. Okay, like that. And now we should see a weird forest scene. There we go. Very cool. Right, so some things I need to do. Something just happened here with my camera. The camera should be like zoomed in much more than it was just then. I must have grabbed something. But this is already starting to look really cool, and I have a feeling that the setup that I made is gonna do me really well. I was just having a panic attack about the sorting layers because I'm dumb, and I was sitting here thinking like, damn it, I did all of that work, and like the system I made in that little test scene only works for that test scene, and it's not gonna work as I'm building the game. But I think we're actually gonna be okay. I think things will be fine. But this is kind of the idea, is that like I can walk, parallaxing will come in a second, but like I can build my scenes and settings like this. You're like walking through a forest. Obviously these are a bunch of duplicated trees just for the sake of like creating a small environment quickly. Let me really fast turn off this background because it is obnoxious as hell. Let's go ahead and just kind of copy these out. This is a bunch of the lighter trees. Let's go ahead and like make a bunch of these. Okay. I'm gonna shift this like this, and then make them bigger. But you can see like I have a pretty decent like way of getting some variety just by shifting stuff around like this. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. This is nice. Okay, and then I'll take all of these trees and then I'll make another batch over here. I would actually like to do it, I would like to do this in around this. There we go. That looks good. And then I need a bunch more of these trees. Let's go ahead and rotate this around a bit. Let's scale it wide. Oh, dude, nice. Okay, cool. And then do it around the pivot. Like this. And then copy all of these. Move them back this way, and then shift it like this, and then we press play. Oh, I fucked up. I left the background. Okay, so we take the background and we bring it back. And then with all that copying, this is kind of the result. We get this like dense forest, which I think is pretty fucking sick. Yeah. And then with the parallaxing involved, we'll be able to make this forest move and feel a little bit more alive. But there you go. That's a simple environment done pretty quickly with the inversion mechanic working. So this is what the inverted forest will look like. And I think this is pretty fucking sick. Not gonna lie, this is pretty nice. And that's how quick it is to kind of make the environment with my little system here. I'm excited. I think that I have 6 environments that I'm going to be making, and this is kind of the first time I have the opportunity to make the environments myself. Like, all I need to do if I want a prop or I want something new is I come in here to GIMP and I draw the prop myself. And like, since it is a silhouette, it makes it so easy to make props. I don't have to worry about details. I just have to like make the outline of something. I can search on the internet, grab an outline, put it in here and edit it to the way I like it, make it white, and then it works in my inversion mechanic. And like, I've had my 3D games, I almost solely have to rely on other people or pre-made assets, and that's really frustrating because there's like certain things that I want to do and want to make. But now with this, like anything I want to do, anything I want to make environmental wise, I can make it myself. And that like, it's really exciting. So yeah, that makes me really happy to work on this stuff. So we have a couple of environments that we're going to go through. We're going to go through the woods, through an abandoned city. I'm excited for the abandoned city level because what it is, the way it relates to the story. Actually, Chin, have I read to you the central idea of the game? Like how the main mechanic relates to the story and metaphor of the game? I don't know. I think I have. It's like the inversion mechanic is... You have. Okay. So the city is going to be like... The way I want to set up the city is that it is a... It's basically like we're going to try to blame the desolation of the city on the inversion. So like the inversion happens at random periods inside of the city, and it's going to be triggered by like the game, the designer, but it will be out of the player's control when the inversion happens. And so we're going to frame it as if the inversion is the thing that killed everyone in the city. But what it means metaphorically is that since the inversion is representative of the player's inability to control their emotions, metaphorically speaking, the reason the city is abandoned is because you're unable to control your emotions. And that's representative of like in real life, when a person is unable to control their emotions or they have like emotional outbursts or whatever, it drives people away. So it's like if you're not able to control your emotions and you're like hurting people around you, it drives them away. And that's what is represented in the abandoned city. It's like, this is the people that you drove out of your life because you couldn't control yourself. And so like it goes hand in hand that it's an abandoned city because like there's nobody around, and we're kind of framing it as if the inversion was the thing that killed everyone, but metaphorically it represents how a person can drive people they care about out of their lives and they'll end up alone. And then I have some stuff for, well, let's go over the environments. So there's a bunch of environments and they'll have their metaphors. I wrote like some basic stuff here just to get it written down. And I used a lot of AI to help me like get it quickly. So like this isn't necessarily indicative of the final meaning for some of this stuff. Factories and rooftops. So factories and rooftops, it starts... So the way the game progresses is you are completely out of control of the inversion and it's just happening randomly. And then in the factory and rooftops, basically in the mid game, you have an item, you have something that you're like centrally controlling, that it's not necessarily you're causing the inversion, but this item is, and you're in control of that item. So that represents like coping mechanisms. whether they're unhealthy or healthy coping mechanisms to like maintain your emotional state or to like use to your advantage. And you're like, okay, my entire life is centralized around this coping mechanism because it's the thing that keeps me stable. And so the factories and rooftops, in the factory, it's going to be kind of revealed that there's this machine that is causing the inversions. And like the goal of this level is to like push this machine through this factory to get it to the other side. You're not necessarily sure why you're pushing this machine, but it's like a part of the puzzles to push the machine so that you're like actually you have to keep the machine with you so that you can navigate through the factory and get to the other side. So it's like, okay, I am wholly dependent on this machine on rails. I'm like, I have to stay near it. I have to know what it's doing. I have to control it so that I can control my emotions metaphorically, but also so that I can complete puzzles and progress through the level. So it's like representative of like a person's dependency on coping mechanisms to maintain like their life and their balance and stuff. And so in the game, this is like the representation of dependency on coping mechanisms. And then finally, once you get through that entire level, pushing this machine through the level and like depending on it, what happens is the machine goes off rails and you go with it and you fall into what is essentially these like dark caves. And when you like wake up, you see that the machine is either going to be destroyed or it'll be like out of reach somehow. And so then you're like put back into this situation where you're unable to control the inversions, and it's representative of a person's like relapsing like from using drugs, or it really what it represents is like diving into the depths of despair and being forced to be introspective about who you are and how you control things and your relationship to these dependencies and stuff. And once you've like explored the caves, it's kind of like Luke Skywalker entering the caves with the Ghost Yoda and like unlocking his new powers. It's also, Joey mentioned this, it is the cave analogy where like you are diving into your subconscious and like being introspective and like learning about yourself. And hopefully what's going to happen is that as you are, well, no, this is what will happen. As you're in the caves, something will happen to where you will gain the ability to completely control the inversion yourself. So the player will be able to actually, instead of like relying on the environment, relying on items, he'll be able to press the Y button to control the inversion manually. And so then that'll open up a whole new set of puzzles where you're in complete control of inversion. And that mechanic represents a person's ability to be able to shift their perspective, to control their emotions, and it's kind of like becoming the master of your emotional state, and then how much power and control that brings along, and how like you're able to confront different puzzles when you're actually in control. So like I'll present older puzzles that existed before, but you'll be able to see how much easier they are to do because you're in complete control of the inversion. And that will be kind of represented through the rooftops. So like you dive down into the caves, which is like the lowest point. It's the ebb and flow of, you know, people's emotional states, people growing mature, like going to become mature, but also for the game's sake, it's like the lowest point and the like highest point of tension in the game. And then the relief and catharsis is in the rooftops, which is representative of like rising up to enlightenment, kind of, right? So you're rising on the rooftops, and then finally the last level is I wrote it down as like the dynamic liminal spaces. It's kind of like a representation of like whenever you're in control of your emotions, or you're like mentally stable, or you're like more mature, you're able to deal with like increasingly crazy things. And like it's kind of representative of what people are dealing with nowadays. It's like every single day there are crazier and crazier things happening in the world, and I think that it takes a certain level of not necessarily being able to cope with things or like just handle things, but like approaching incredibly crazy situations and using your emotional maturity to come up with solutions and like not only just survive but to like get past. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the layout of the game. I know it's like a silly little pixel game, but I wanted it to have meaning, just like all my games. I kind of, came up. I was concerned about the story at first, and then I think that as I spent more time trying to, figure out what I wanted to do with it, and like came up with the central idea that like this silly little pixel game has just as much meaning as all the other games and all the other stories I've made, and that's just like I think just it helps to drive the design of the game when I had all this stuff figured out, and it makes me really happy. I really love the story, and like I really love the mechanics. I love my little guy. I love the way the environments look, and I'm really happy about the idea that I get to like make this stuff all by hand by myself. The only thing that I am getting a lot of help with is music. Hayner is going to be helping me out with a bunch of the music. We've already come up with an idea of in the game when you invert, basically like there will be like a bass song, not song but like ambience for the game, and then when you invert that it will play the same song, but it'll be modulated in some way. It'll be changed. So either to be in like a different key, or it'll be like filtered in some way so that it'll sound like much different, but it'll be the same song still. And what will happen is technically speaking, these two songs will be playing on top of each other. There'll be the inverted version and there'll be the normal version. And at any given time, one of the versions is muted entirely, and so then when you switch over, the volume from the muted one goes up and the volume from the other one goes down, so it like shifts seamlessly. And that's kind of how I want to approach the music. I'm really hoping that our idea for shifting between these two tracks will work well. And then also some other stuff I need help with, some of the administrative stuff, like the financial side. This is a thing where like, oh man, like I am going to absolutely charge money for this. I'm going to be trying to monetize. Yeah, so monetization is going to be like a big part of this. Like I'm actually going to try to do an advertising campaign. I'm going to like run social media accounts, and I feel like I need people, like a person to help me with that. And not only that, but there's like legal stuff. Like I need to like figure out like copyright. I need to take this and what do you call it? Like I'm gonna be trying to get onto Xbox's holistic review. Like I have a person that I met in the Houston game dev community who apparently has contacts that will help me get to a Microsoft representative, and they'll be able to look at the game and say, hey, we're gonna review this game, and we're going to play test it. We're going to look at all of its like, we're going to look at everything for it, and we're going to like make recommendations on what needs to happen so that it is prepared to be sold on Xbox's marketplace. And if it passes that review and it can get on Xbox's marketplace, then this product can be put, like I'll be confident that I can put this product on other places, and it will be like it'll do okay over there too. Like it's basically this big review that I've never had before. Whenever I released the Veil, I just released it on itch. It just went out to the world, and I'm lucky that it did well. But what Xbox is going to do is they're going to review the game and not only say like, hey, we think the game is fun and we think that it's interesting and it'll do well, but also, is it technically sound? Does it have a million bugs and never going to work on the Xbox? Does it have, controller support like we need? Does it have all this stuff, right? And that's, is it ready for the platform? And so like getting that extra level of review ensures that wherever I put it, it'll do okay. And that's what, like, it'll do okay technically, right? And that's kind of like the angle that I'm going to try to do for the business side of the game. Also got to pay people. If anybody that I work with. Right now I have an agreement with Hayner where I'm going to buy him some applications. And then hopefully if I get somebody to help me with the, like, making trailers and the advertising side and the business side, the social media side, if I get somebody to help me with that, I'll pay them too. I'm lucky that I have such a skill set that enables me to like do the programming, do the art. That's kind of how I've always been. I've worked alone, but if I want to grow this thing, like actually grow this into something cool and like kind of work for myself a little bit, I have to work with other people to fill in my gaps. Okay, anyways, that's a long spiel. My silly little pixel game. I think it's more than a silly little pixel game. Thank you, Chen. Anyways, I do have to go. I have to go to the gym. I have to be balanced myself. I have to do physical activity. It's my enrichment hour, so I have to go do that. But I will be back. I have contract work that I have landed by some miracle, working with an oil and gas company, making a good amount of money. Honestly, more than I'm making currently. So I got to work on that as well today. But maybe play some Silent Hill. It's gonna be so rad. I'm excited for you. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you. I have to go though. I'll be back. I think it's nighttime for you, so you'll be going to sleep. So have a good night. I'll be talking to y'all later. Okay, bye. Bye bye. Be enriched. Okay. Okay.